So welcome back. There is no problem as such from my end. Please check your mics. So the record, I just cross check with the Zoom again. So there is no problem with the microphone of my PC. It has been audible, and the net is also been proper. So no problem as such. Cross check at your end as well. So we are running out of time. So we were dealing with respect to the pitch measuring instrument. Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is the a pitch measuring instrument. So here we were discussing about how does it operates. So here you can see an spring load head. So this part of it is called as a spring load head. So this spring load head permits the stylus. So you have a stylus below the spring load head. So this spring load head permits the this one stylus to pierce in between the side of the helical groove, so it can exactly touch the root part of the thread, because here we are measuring the pitch. So pitch will be the distance between the two consecutive between the two adjacent threads, so you have to point out this distance, right? So this helps in piercing into the point which has been needed. So this stylus movement could be possible with the help of spring loaded thread. So after locating the position, it has to be accurately fixed. So that could be fixed with the help of the pointer. So you can see you have a pointer just above the spring loaded head. So the accurate positioning of this stylus where we need to measure will be obtained between the two flanks, and then that pointer T will be inserted inside it, so that it will be having a grip for the stylus to grip it in between the two flank or the straight edges. After doing this, so when the pointer is pierced inside, then the reading will be taken. So this is for the first position. So after this, again what happens, this you have a micrometer here where the reading will be taken, and then the spring loaded head will be moved upward and the stylus will be lifted up, and then if you rotate it in clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can shift the stylus from one position to that of the other. So when the pointer is accurately placed in the position, the micrometer reading is noted. This I told you. Then the stylus will be moved to the next space where you want to measure. So this could be done by the rotation of the micrometer. It depends upon how you want to move, either towards your left or towards your right. So then again one more reading will be done. First you will identify the location and you will place the stylus. Once you place the stylus exactly, then you pierce a pointer into it so that the clamping will be achieved, and then the reading will be taken by the micrometer. So the distance between the 2 points what you have measured will be helpful for you to give the dimension for the pitch. Okay, so this is how the operation in a pitch measuring instrument take place. Next is toolmaker's microscope. So toolmaker's microscope is also used to measure the pitch value. So this is how the line diagram of a toolmaker's microscope looks like. So this is in actual, how does it look? So you can see you have a base, you have two micrometers here located, you have a vertical column on which the optical head will be this one clamped, right? And you have a table. So on the table the given workpiece will be mounted. So in order to clamp this above your downwards, you have a clamping screw, so which helps in focusing the given workpiece very near if you need, or to lift little bit up also. This will be helpful for adjusting, and this will provide you the longitudinal movement of the table, and similarly this will provide you the lateral movement of the table. So this is how an tool makers a microscope works. So now you have to understand what happens exactly in the tool makers microscope. So So this is the base part of the toolmaker's microscope. So within the base of the toolmaker's microscope, you have the autocollimation. We have understood how exactly what is the use of autocollimator, why it is being used, how the principle of it is, and what are the applications we have dealt already in the module 2. So that autocollimating property here is been embedded within the base of the toolmaker's microscope. So here you will be having an incident light, the any source of light which is being needed will be kept over here. So you will be having an collimating lens. So the diverged rays will be focused into parallel beam of light. So from here you will be having a mirror. So through the mirror it will be reflected upwards. So here you have an a carriage type of thing which helps in moving the table. So on this carriage facility you will be having a glass slab because it should allow the rays of the light to pass through the workpiece. Okay, so above the glass plate you will be having an work table which is also made up of glass so that the light will pass through it, and above this you will be having the workpiece. So the source of light will be passed through the back portion of the workpiece. So from there it will be transferred to the objective lens. So your objective lens could be used of any magnification as required. So based on the magnification required you will select the objective lens. So after objective lens you will be having three categories of the prism which will be aligned here at different position. So that helps in diverting the rays back near the eyepiece here. So then with respect to the visualized, with respect to the magnified objective lens you are using, you will be able to view here through the eyepiece what the profile of the thread or the pitch value what you have to measure. So you will be cross wiring, you will be moving the table in such a way that it will be aligned to one position. Then you will take the reading, you have 2 micrometer readings, and again you will shift for the other position and you will take the micrometer reading, and then you will identify the distance it is being traveled, and then you get the pitch value. Okay, so the same thing has been explained here. So the workpiece is mounted on a glass plate. So light source which provides horizontal beam of light is reflected from a mirror by 900 upwards towards the table. So it will be reflected, I don't know the value exactly how much it is, but it will be reflected towards the table. So the image of the outline of the workpiece what we are doing will be traced out by the objective lens of the optical head. So that trace out part will be magnified with respect to what magnification lens you are using. So then the image is protected by a system of 3 prisms. So what I showed you here, you will be having the 3 prisms. So the image is projected by a system of 3 prisms to a ground glass screen. So you will be having a ground glass screen here in between. So that will be helping for you to visualize in the eyepiece. So the measurements are here made by means of cross lines engraved on the ground glass screen. So here this is the prism and this is the eyepiece. In between you will be having the ground glass screen. So here you will be having the cross lines. So based you have to align one of the thread to one of the cross line, and then you have to take the reading. Then you will rotate the other consecutive head and then you will align and you will take the reading in the micrometer. So how you are traversing, whether lateral, yeah, longitudinal. So based on the moment you will take the reading on the respective micrometer. If you're traversing the work table in the longitudinal, then you have to take the reading in the longitudinal microscope, and if you're traversing it in the lateral movement, then you will take the reading in the lateral micrometer, and you will see the distance how much you are measuring. So that will yield you the pitch value of the given screw thread. So it could be a cylindrical object or an cone. The same thing is being explained here. So the mechanism of the carriage is nothing but it is moving due to the ball guideway mechanism, which is embedded in it. So it will provide you the two measuring micrometers which will be arranged perpendicular to each other in the length and the cross sections. So the measuring range in the micrometer will be of about 25 mm, and the measuring capacity can be increased if needed by adding on the slip gauges. So this is one which could be embedded if you need the range more than 25 mm. And next, the table is also rotatable, is provided over the stage on which the workpiece can be fixed either directly or between the centers. So you have an ball guide wave mechanism which helps in rotating the table as per the requirement, and it could be rotated until 360 degrees, and the angular rotation can be read by using the fixed vernier to a scale value of 3. Okay, so this is the initial construction of the tool maker's microscope before operating. So working I have explained you already. We will just focus on the objective lens here. So you can see the magnification lens what you can use. So you have a different range of magnification lenses which are being used, right from 1x, 1.5x, 3x, 5x, and also sometimes to 10x, 15x, 30x, 50x also. So this is about the magnification part. So lastly, the direction of the illumination can be tilted with respect to the workpiece by tilting the measuring head and the whole optical system. Even the measuring head could be tilted. So here, how you need, in that way the optical head could be tilted. So you have a clamping mechanism here which could move up and down also, and you can rotate the entire microscope also as per the given information. So this is the initial thing I have explained you already. The same thing is given step by step. So the work table will be placed on the base of the instrument. The optical head is mounted on the vertical column. The workpiece will be mounted on the glass plate. The light source will be provided, a beam of horizontal light which will be reflecting from 90-degree perpendicular from the inward of the table. From back side to the inner portion of the workpiece you will get. Then the image of the outline counterpart will be recorded in the objective lens. So that will be diverted to the three prisms. So from the three prisms it will be sent to the ground glass screen. Here you will be having the cross wires. Based on the alignment you will get the reading. So you will do the arrangements required by rotating the table through 360 degree. So different types of graduated screens and eyepiece could be used depending upon the requirement. So many accessories related to the graduated screens will be given, because some screw threads, the distance between the pitch could be very small. For some the distance between the pitch could be in medium structure, and for some it could be larger. So for all, the same graduated screen cannot be used. So depending upon which type of screw thread you want to measure the pitch value, you will be changing the graduated screen, and respective eyepieces also will be given so that you can change the eyepiece as well. So these are the process what you have to follow in order to measure the pitch value using an tool maker's microscope. If they ask you what do you mean by tool maker's microscope, draw a sketch and explain the procedure how to determine the pitch of a given screw thread. You should be able to draft the line diagram of it. Also, you need to show the flow of beam of light from the source to that of the eyepiece as well. Explain step by step how it is aligned, how the operations will be done, how the value of pitch will be determine, and also about, you can speak about the magnification lens, what are the accessories available along with it. So all these has to be explained clearly. Usually they ask question related to tool maker microscope as well. And the third method is screw pitch gauge. So in screw pitch gauge, you can see it looks like this. So you will get the threads here of different size. You can make out here the distance between the threads are more. So the pitch value here will be higher. So comparatively it will be small here. Again it is small here, and even some numbers are being measured over here. So based on the requirement, this will be directly pierced into the given screw thread and you can measure the dimension of the pitch. So this is comparatively easier to that of the tool maker's microscope, or the other one what we use, the pitch measuring device. So these are the three categories of instruments which are available in order to measure the pitch value. So we measured the pitch value and then still the effective diameter or the pitch diameter measurement is left out. So that we will go next. So this is a small part what you have to understand. And also we need to have something to measure the flank angle also. What is flank angle? These are the straight edges which connects the crest to that of the root. So the angle made by two straight edges which is connecting the root to the crest will give you the flank angle. We also call that as a thread angle. So here we'll be using a protractor. So this is a protractor in which you will come with a protractor arm also. So what we do is you will just keep the given screw thread in alignment to the protractor. So this protractor arm is movable. So you can move anywhere is been needed. So you will get this protractor arm incline parallelly to one of the flank edge and you will clamp it. So you have a pivot here where you can clamp the position. Okay, so then again you will note the reading here exactly how much degree it is. After visualizing the alignment of the degree for this particular flank or this particular side, then you will rotate this protractor arm and come back to the other side of the flank edge and you will again pivot or clamp the protractor arm. So you will measure what is the degree here exactly. So then you will take the difference of the 2 degrees and you will measure the flank angle. So this is the method which has been followed in order to identify the flank angle or the thread angle. The next important thing what you have to understand very carefully is how to measure the effective diameter. So effective diameter is nothing but the pitch diameter. So what is pitch diameter? It is the theoretical diameter which will be exactly which will be in between the major and the minor diameter. So that pitch line will be parallel or coaxial to that of the axis of the thread. So how you measure that distance? So the addition of the pitch diameter will provide you the depth of the thread as well. So it is an important task. One has to determine it very carefully. So in order to determine the pitch diameter, we have two methods. So one is the thread micrometer and other one is the wire method. So in your syllabus you have different types of wire methods also, which are called as one wire method, two wire method, three wire methods, so on. So in wire method you will be using the wire, you will make like a ring, a circle, and you will place that exactly in between the threads and you will measure the effective diameter. Okay, and in thread micrometer, this is another procedure. So I will explain how to follow with respect to both the methods. So the one is the thread micrometer. So here a thread micrometer you can see this is the screw thread. So you will be having spindle at one end and you will be having the anvil at the other end. So it will be aligned in such a way that this method is simple and it could be done very easily. So here the thread micrometer is same as the ordinary micrometer. We were discussing about this ordinary micrometer, what is called as an hand micrometer or a bench micrometer also, right? So what we were doing it in bench micrometer, we used to keep the standard, clamp that between the spindle and the anvil, measure the value with the help of micrometer, then replace that with an screw thread and you measure the value and check any deviation you get. So similarly here also the same working principle is being used, and hand micrometer on a bench micrometer could also be used. Okay, only thing is now the position of the alignment will be different to take the reading. So what you do in this case, the contact points are selected on the basis of the type of the thread and the pitch of the thread to be measured. So depending upon what to be measured, the contact point should be identified. So here we need to measure the pitch diameter or the effective diameter, so that one end of the either the anvil or the spindle, one has to be fixed on the female contact point and other one has to be fixed on the male contact point, so that it helps in getting the required pitch diameter. So here the anvil will be focused on clamping the crest part of the thread, and here the spindle tip will be clamped at the root part of the thread, so that it helps in obtaining the required effective diameter. So based on internal or external thread, it will be clamped properly so that you will get the required pitch diameter. So this is how you have to clamp. So if one goes wrong in clamping properly, then you won't get the required dimension. So you should be careful enough what are the parameters you want to measure. Is it the pitch diameter, or it is a major diameter, or is it the minor diameter, whatever. So based on that you should select the contact points which has to be clamped properly. So same thing. So these anvils are then made to contact the thread to be checked, and the reading is taken in the micrometer. In this, the actual reading is the measurement of the major diameter on one side and minor diameter of the other side. So one you have to focus on the minor diameter, another one you have to focus on the major diameter. Major diameter will be at the crest part and the minor diameter will be at the root part. So that distance, if you clamp properly, you will get the required pitch diameter. So if the thread is of the Whitworth thread type, then the relation what we have to follow to determine the effective pitch diameter is D minus 0.6403 times of the pitch value. This is the formula if it is used. If they have provided you Whitworth thread, then you have to use this formula, D minus 0.6403 times of P. So this was related to the thread micrometer in order to measure the pitch diameter or effective diameter. So next you have to focus on the wire methods. So these methods are also used to determine the pitch diameter. So in this we have three classifications.